And it seems to
rain in some
like they are
on there that like give you
all that.
Gren, or I'm like, oh crap.
Woodsman from leaving. Pretty chill for me. You free in the middle of her living. She brought it.
But you get the choice.
Under arrest for this. So I was.
Welcome to another episode of My Mother Has Tourette's podcast.
Me too.
I'm Josh.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm also your host, Nathan.
And I'm another Josh. And we recently found out that one of our mothers loves to play pranks on people by sticking whole tomatoes in their shoes.
That's pretty weird.
Disgusting.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like this mother. She's the mother I don't like. How's everyone doing? You all have a good week this week?
It'd be all right.
It'd be all right. Okay.
It do be. Oh, that is disappointing, Josh.
Do be do because Andrew's the triple B.
We depend on you. We depend on you to have the interesting week.
I have an interesting week. Do you want it?
Yeah, that's how we do these to start, man. Let's hear it. How was your week?
All right, where do I start? My company has been lying to my father for a month.
Oh, hype.
Let's go.
Blaming the customer that we work for. So when my dad went to the customer to stick up for himself, that's when we found out my company's been lying. So now we got the customer involved, calling my company out for using them as a lie.
That's sweet, dude. I mean, that sucks.
Sick.
That's rough.
Yesterday,
how long has that been going on?
The gym. Well, the lying has been going on for about a month.
Ooh.
The terrible workplace environment's been going on for about a year.
Okay. I'm sorry to hear that.
Are there going to be lawyers involved?
I don't know. If the company wants to get out of the contract that we have with them for another 4 years, they might. I watched my cousin, Vinny, Two Youths. And I'm very disappointed to say this, that my wife has never seen that movie.
What movie?
My cousin
Vinny.
Oh.
And
I thought you were talking about your cousin Vinny.
No.
Have you seen My Cousin Vinny, Nathan?
No, what is this?
I didn't think so.
Oh, no, I'm the worst.
You've not seen the movie?
I've also
I only saw it once, and it was a long time ago. But I definitely remember the courtroom scene.
Kind of want to stop this podcast now.
I don't blame you.
All right. That's a lot of freed up time for me, so you gentlemen, I'll talk to you later.
Okay, goodness. That's how
Make
you
sure
really
you
feels.
watch the movie when you get off.
You know what's a great show? It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
No, it's not great. But listen, go watch like 2 seasons of Suits, the lawyer show, and then go watch My Cousin Vinny.
They're not great.
But that was a good movie, so I'm trying to get my wife to finish the movie. We got brand new spanking slap your mama tires on our car.
Brand spanking slap your mama tires. Woo!
Got $100 off, but I'm pretty mad at Firestone because they told us to have the car there at 7 o'clock in the morning, and then even pull our car back in until 2 in the afternoon.
That sucks, dude.
So I'm pretty annoyed by that.
This episode sponsored by Firestone Tire.
Get the tire, or you're fired.
I bought a whole pig, and I'm super excited about it. It's getting butchered in the next couple weeks. It's probably butchered now.
You shouldn't talk about your mother like that.
She's gonna be tasty, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
You always
cut that one out, boys.
Weeks. That's
I'm
crazy.
getting her turned into lard.
Nope, you've done it. You've done it.
Oh boy,
Andrew, you've done it. I'm not cutting it out.
Yeah, I love you, Aunt Joy. Don't call me and yell at me, please.
Well, I mean, I accidentally called your mom the pig on the other podcast. So
yeah, so you know what? Yeah, mom battle. Let's go.
Aunt Joy, how does it feel? How does it feel being the mom with Tourette's? Leave a comment.
Listen, now that you mention that, we need to somehow
summon.
We need to get somebody to animate a 3-way battle between all 3 of the mothers.
Oh, of course. I mean, that's
the
logical, natural next step.
Have you seen the video where the guy's trying to capture a Pokemon and he's like, "Get in the ball," And he's like, no, I don't want to. No, get in the ball. And then he makes the human get in the ball. And he's like,
I don't think so.
Did you just capture me?
I've not seen that.
I feel like that'd be a great thing to do, is like capture our mothers in a Pokeball. And then next time we meet up, have like a
Oh boy. Oh boy. Cut that out. Put one in the edit jar for Nathan.
Nah, he's got to keep it
on the
his
screen.
butt was just Grandma's face.
We don't want the brown stain on the screen.
Continue. I'm just blurring it.
We're continuing on. I bought a grill.
Ooh.
I made dinner on it tonight.
What kind of grill?
Just a cheap $200 grill.
Nice.
Because my wife thinks a smoker is a grill, so she wanted to convert the smoker into a grill, and I'm like, you're not touching that.
Yeah.
So I ended up putting it on backwards because I was under a large amount of stress with my child constantly taking all the pieces that I needed.
Well, that sounds about right.
I'd like
Sounds
to
like he was trying to
form
help,
a
jerk.
complaint. They gave me a bottle opener that attaches to the front of it.
Okay.
But they did not include the screws that it required to attach.
All right.
I guess you had to pay the extra $5 for the next step up to get.
That's what you get for the free shipping, man.
I
gotta swindle you somewhere.
Not free. I had to go pick it up at Lowe's in Lancaster.
Do you know the
So
can
it was
opener
free
was created
shipping.
before the can?
So
I mean,
the
the
chicken
other way
was
around.
created before the egg.
No, the other way around. The can.
So the frying pan was created before the chicken.
Yeah, they made it, and then they made chickens because they said, "Well, we need something."
Speaking
to
of
fry on
frying pans, how was your
Speaking of
week,
frying
Nathan?
pans. Wow. Out
Both
of the
you
frying
twist
pan and
in,
into the
I
fire.
was
Let me
finished.
tell you, Andrew. I'm gonna tell you all about my week.
Let's
So,
go.
yeah, man, it's crazy. We recorded last Monday. We actually
Yeah,
recorded
true,
Monday
Monday.
this time
Don't tell them our
because
secret.
we recorded Monday this time because we weren't
Nathan
able to
was
record
busy.
Sunday. Excuse me. And yeah, it's true. But Joshua, my friend Joshua, who's one of our hosts here, he was not able to do it. He was off Monday. That's what it was. He was off Monday. So we ended
You
up
sound
doing
like
it Monday.
Stephen Thompson.
He's not British.
No.
What? This is
Steven, make sure you put a timestamp here, because I'd be disappointed if you didn't. And it's got to be about you, man. That's nuts. Steven doesn't
What's
sound
he
We'll
gonna call
unpack
it?
that
Timestamp
later because I feel like we can
12/7.
talk
Steven,
the
the
rest
freaking
of the
Steven.
episode about why you thought I sounded like Stephen Thompson when I started doing a bad British accent.
See, you always say, let's unpack this later, but then my
We don't
whole
ever
bedroom
unpack it
is
later, which is
filled
funny to me.
with filled
With-
suitcases.
With all those boxes that we never unpacked.
Yeah.
I like that thought.
I
that
thought
you
it
have
was
this
just all the
mental-
stuff that you never unpacked from us moving you in and not having most of your stuff
Yeah.
because we had to
No,
throw it away.
Anyway,
Yeah,
so
we left it outside though.
Bro,
About-
don't say that. Can't
It's my
incriminate
turn.
yourself. Allegedly.
Me
It's
and
my
the
turn.
wife were gonna go visit the store.
It is
And,
Nathan's turn. Well, not anymore.
I
Sorry.
showed her where the gate was, and she goes, "You left all that stuff there?" I was like, "Yeah, they were closed. What else did you want me to do?" And I was like, "There's already a piano outside the gate." I figured, what the heck? 2 more dressers wasn't going to be a big deal.
well,
All right, Nathan. So you're British, and you had a great week. Does this have to do with Doctor Who or I Am Who?
I'm
whatever
good.
the show is?
No, yes. So we recorded Monday after I worked, and then mate. And then after Monday, I got up and I went to work the next day. And after work, I probably went home and I watched Doctor Who with my momma, with my wife. Same thing.
Did you just call her my old lady? But
This
in
is a
British
train wreck.
way?
I'm tired and I'm. This is messed up. All right, so
Are you a bicycle?
I'm not married to my mother. I need to put that out there because I feel like someone is gonna come out of this episode thinking that I'm some Mormon or something.
I'll be the first.
Oh, I love Mormons also, by the way. You guys are awesome and no
Are you a
besmirching
bicycle,
here.
Nathan?
I think I'm spinning out of control here. So Tuesday I went to work
You're
and I
just
came
too
home.
tired.
I probably watched Doctor Who, and then Wednesday I went to work and I came home and I probably watched Doctor Who. Thursday, however, I went to work.
Thrusty.
And I came home, and we probably watched Doctor Who. Friday, however, Friday was my wife's... Actually, it's not Friday. Friday is not my wife's birthday. I'm not out here doxing her. However, mate, at one point during this week, my wife, and it's not my mother, had a birthday. Good thing about that is I actually did something. So we went and saw Dune Part 2, which was fantastic because, like, just, I can imagine showing somebody, even maybe 10 years ago, just how the budgets that movies and shows get these days to make, like, just visually alone, those movies are beautiful. They're incredible. But it was really well made. I really enjoyed it. Apparently it was going to be part 3. I went into this movie thinking it was the end. So that's kind of cool, I guess. But really well done. I enjoyed that. And then we went out to eat with her father. And
Father?
her father, my father-in-law, not my stepfather. It's a little bit different there, mate. And so we did that.
Then you really would be married to your mom. Disgusting.
Stop it, man.
Hey,
Uncle Daddy.
Oh, wow, that's a throwback if I've ever heard one. Holy crap. Welcome back to My Mom Has Tourette's podcast. I'm Uncle Daddy. So no, my week was fine.
I'm my own grandpa.
I really don't think I did much like usual. I'm a very boring person.
It took you this long to say I didn't do anything.
Hello.
Seriously?
No, I talked about my wife's birthday.
It looked like you were just shouting at Grandma in the back.
Shut up, Glee. Anyway, that was pretty cool. Now, Andrew, what went on with you this week?
Not much.
Lieutenant Dan.
Fair enough. Not much.
No, I don't think I really did anything. Just worked and oh yeah, there was one non-fun thing. I got pulled over this weekend. That wasn't
I
fun.
almost got pulled over last night.
That's no good.
Bro, same. That's exactly what
happened?
it was.
Tell us.
I
didn't
was
get
driving
almost
down
pulled
the
over.
road and I got pulled over because apparently my registration was up and I thought I renewed it online and I did not. But he said he pulled me over because I ran a red light, but it was yeah. I was like, I'd have probably died if I ran a red light. You just saw that I had a bad registration and you were following me for a while, so I'll just take it as it is. And then I just went and got my registration done, and now I have to pay a fine, which is
Oof.
pretty lame.
I mean, at least...
Bro, I don't like the sounds of that guy. Like, I kind of want to fight him.
Nah, he was at least kind of nice about it, so...
That's good.
I don't think arguing with an officer of the law in the heat of the moment is a good idea. He has a gun and I've got two. We don't want to see how that plays out.
On your ticket for running a light?
Do I have my ticket?
No, like on your ticket, does it say you ran a light or something?
He told me that if he put that I ran a red light, it would be points on my license. So it was failure to obey something like a certified traffic symbol or something. It was basically the same thing, just put in different words.
Are you going to take it to court?
No, I'm just going to pay it.
But you didn't run a light, so you're going to pay something you didn't do?
Or I can go to court, argue with a magistrate about me versus a cop's word, and I know how that's going to go.
Sometimes it's just not worth it.
He had to have body cam footage and car footage. Like, he's got to have proof that he saw you run a red light.
Yeah, I just don't think it's worth it, though.
It is.
I'd rather just pay the fine and get it over with. If it was
light.
something that was, like, absolutely insane, then sure, but...
Insane in the membrane.
Insane, got no brain.
First time I ever got pulled... I've been pulled over very few times in my career. First time I got pulled over, though, I was on Jefferson Avenue. And there was this... I wish I could explain. Like, I don't remember anything around it. But there was a building with a one-way street behind it. And it's like Jefferson Avenue, road, Jefferson, or the next road over, and this is the one-way. And I took a left through the parking lot of whatever this place was onto that street. And then I took a left again behind it. Where through the path I took, there was no sign indicating it was a one-way street. And also,
Did you go under
there was
the overpass? I'm
nobody
assuming.
around. I don't remember exactly where. I mean, if I saw it, I would
Okay.
remember, but I couldn't tell you. I don't think the overpass was super close to it. However, where I entered that road, and it was very small, there was absolutely nobody around. It was not even like a place where there were a ton of people driving or anything on that road. I turn onto it, and then out of nowhere, a cop just pops out of the wall, and he was a young guy.
Out of a wall. Nope.
I get a ticket, just straight up ticket. He was like not very nice about it either. He was just like, "Yeah, you can't do that. Good ticket, boy." And that's pretty much it. But I was very sad because I thought maybe just maybe it being my first infraction, he would be like, "Yeah, just don't do that again." But nah. And
Nathan?
like, what's up?
No, I thought you were done.
Oh no, I mean, yeah, I'm good.
My first ticket. Do you remember when you and your parents were going to buy or rent some mobile home, but it was in real bad condition? So you guys were going to do work on it, and a bunch of us came and helped you move and like started ripping carpet up out of the ground, and your dad like towed it away or something. Do you remember that?
Are you sure we were friends growing up?
Yes, because
I don't remember this.
My first ticket.
A mobile home?
Yeah, it was some mobile home out kind of near the country. The carpet smelled like cat pee, so your dad was like, "If we're gonna move into here, we're gonna rip it all up."
There's only one thing I can think of is we had a family friend who lived out near the country. I don't remember I wouldn't say the last names anyway, but I can't even remember the last names at the moment. But they had like a house kind of on their property, but it wasn't a mobile home. But I remember that we were at one point.
I feel like
for a very short time,
it's a mobile home, but
planning
I could be
on
wrong.
moving into it, and then something happened and we didn't, and then like those people didn't like
that.
us
Might
anymore.
be it.
I'm inclined to believe Nathan because I move everybody in our friend group, and I don't even remember this.
So you guys started.
I think maybe you're conflating two stories,
of...
Josh. However, just go with what you remember.
Well, it might be that same house, but your dad was having the carpet ripped out of
as he should.
So it was me, your dad, Chris, and I don't remember who else, but we were so hot driving back to Washington.
Yeah, you were.
That we were like, let's go to the pool. Chris was in the car with me, and on the way back I was speeding. I don't remember. I think I might have had a shirt off or something, but that was my first ticket. Was with your brother.
Surprise, surprise.
That's crazy.
Shirtless Josh.
Well, I mean, was it the first time you were pulled over or your first ticket?
First time ever pulled over.
Oh, that's right.
I didn't get a ticket. I think you gave me a warning.
Oh, really? I've never had a speeding ticket, thankfully.
I've
never.
I don't really speed like much.
Same.
I go over the speed limit by a few,
14 over in a semi truck.
Not like crazy all the time, at least. You want Josh? What? Repeat that.
What?
He said, "Time for gaming news."
All right. Well, first things first on gaming news in the middle of a conversation. Just cut that right out. Nintendo Switch Online is adding 3 Mario games from the Game Boy and GBC, Game Boy Color. This is interesting because you can now rebuy games that you bought a long time ago, and they make more money out of it. And that's pretty sweet. So there looks like I'm trying to find out which ones they're putting. Okay, so they've confirmed that it'll be. Wait. No. There it is. No, it's not. Does this article say? Does this article say what games are being moved? That's crazy. This is like a whole lot of words and nothing being explained.
Don't worry, everybody. He's going to edit this out of the clip. This is dropping the cookie jar for him.
So you're apologizing to everybody for the edit that they're never going to see, including the part where you apologize?
That is the weird thing there.
You call me weird? Do you want to catch his hands?
I do.
You want to catch these hands?
I'm straight. This article is bad. I'm gonna like Google. Nothing against
This
you guys,
article
Google
is
now.
bad.
3 new Mario games coming to Switch from Gameboy.
Uh-oh, Spadudio.
Right. Looks like it's Dr. Mario, Mario Golf, and Mario Tennis. So that's pretty cool.
Low-key, Mario Tennis was fine.
Okay.
That was
I
loud.
thought we've had this conversation to not use that audio clip again because it's so loud.
Hey man, if it's available, it's there for the taking. Anybody can change it at any time.
All right. Well, I guess I'll just
You
have
give
to
a
edit
bad
that.
boy easy decisions, and this bad boy will take every decision.
I don't know what that means, but all right.
Anyway, that's pretty cool. They're making, they're letting you play some old Game Boy Color games on the Switch. Good old classic Mario games.
Why do they call it colored? Like
Because it was in color.
what's it?
Game Rant article. PlayStation partner Deviation.
Wow.
Deviation Games is shutting down. So, Deviation Games looks like they are the latest victim of layoffs and closures that have swept the gaming industry over the past year. So, the studio was founded in 2022 by Jason Blundell and Dave Anthony, both of them known for their work on the Call of Duty franchise.
Dave
And,
Anthony never mind. I was gonna say he sounds like a solid guy, but not if he worked on Call of Duty.
Yeah, I mean,
Thumbs down.
I'm not getting in that. However, in 2023, there's a ton of developers laid off of the last year and everything, and this Deviation Games was hit by it, which is always sad. And let's see what kind of games. It looks like what kind of games that they actually had created, because I've never heard of them personally. Have you guys heard of Deviation Games?
I have not.
Okay. Deviation
But they deviate from the plan.
Games.
Oh,
All right, so Deviation Games. Okay, sweet. That's why I didn't mention what games, because Deviation Games has been shut down before it could even ship a game in its partnership with PlayStation. Sucks for them.
okay.
That really sucks. Imagine starting up as a game studio for like a few years, and you're working on, I don't know if they were working on something and they just can't put it out, but then you just kind of get canned. You're like, yeah, no, we're actually not going to let you make a game and put it out with PlayStation.
I feel like that's the equivalent of you get the job interview, get the offer, and then 3 days into training, they're like, all right, we're shutting down, kids. See you later.
Yep. And also talking about layoffs and just companies getting shut down. Something near and dear to my heart that happened this week. I'm sure many of you have heard of this, especially the mothers out there who all know them. Rooster Teeth. Company's been running for 21 years, focusing on internet content creation, starting off with things such as Red vs. Blue, eventually creating things such as an actual anime called Ruby and things of that nature, and making all kinds of really cool content. Lots of they did a lot of focus on comedy for a long time, but they also started doing more like actual live action, dramatic things as well. They had grown to a large not a large company, but comparatively from being like 4 dudes in their basement.
They grew to what we don't know them as today.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's true. And they a few years ago were sold out to Warner Brothers, and this year Warner Brothers was like, get them out of here. They're not making enough money for us anymore, so let's get them out of here. Let's just move on. And I guess it was a surprise to all of the people working there. When we learned of it, so did they. So that's pretty cool. They're all out of a job.
Ew.
I guess they have something like 2 months or something to wind down, finishing up whatever projects and stuff that they can. And it's nice that they have a little bit of time and they don't have to just grab their stuff and leave. But they're I guess what's really cool is they're putting out a final season of Red vs. Blue, which was planned from the beginning. It was planned from the beginning before they even found out about this, but they've confirmed that they're going to finish it. So that's kind of cool, finishing off the company with what they started with in a way, because it really is kind of what made the company at first. That was their focus early on until they moved and went to Austin, and got a whole bunch of new people. Basically, they're gone, and it's sad, but
I could be
less
wrong.
than 21 years.
I could be wrong, but I'm also pretty certain they made. I'm pretty sure they came up with the idea of $1 Million Butt before it became like a big card game.
Yes, they did.
Yeah,
that was a thing.
absolutely wonderful game.
But we've decided as a group, since we're going out of the business, we're going to take over the business and create our own content platform.
Yes, definitely.
This video is sponsored by what used to be Rooster Teeth.
Yes.
Just kidding. But since we're on the subject of things stopping, even though it's not technically gaming news, rest in peace to Matt Pat from all the theory channels doing his last theory yesterday.
Yep.
That was pretty depressing.
It's a classic, man.
He cried in like all of them, and I was like, man, I get it, dog. I was getting a little choked up too. I was like, man, I don't even watch this channel like that, but it's good stuff.
Yeah, I used to watch him a good bit. I haven't much in a while, but he still was like a classic channel from a really long time.
Oh yeah.
And
I think he said he was on YouTube for like 13 years or something.
Yeah, he was around for a while.
Like that.
So that was it's been a lot of people just getting out of here, saying no more, or having that told to them. It's sad, but
I think this is a time to reveal that I too will be stepping down from the podcast.
Me too.
Since we're all retiring and getting fired.
Venture from Josh. And
Josh's paycheck to me of 16 saltines and a glass of orange juice did not clear this month, so I am done with it.
You keep promising chicken nuggets and don't perform, so
we need subscribers to give chicken nuggets.
Yep, you can't get chicken nuggets without subscribers. That is a universal truth. Anyway, how'd the game go this week, fellas?
How'd the game go this week?
That's the topic of the topic.
Beautiful.
I need to go to sleep. I'm gonna you guys can finish this up.
All right, Andrew. How was your?
It'd be more entertaining. So my playthrough. I'm just kidding.
No, I get it. I get it.
Yeah. So this episode was called A Crooked Mile. Mm-hmm. Crooked, man, no bueno. What we learned last week was
crooked.
Ichabod Crane was the slimy guy behind it all. He was a disgusting creep, and a freak, and all sorts of nastiness. And it starts out right in the hotel room. You find all the nastiness in.
Yep.
And immediately, although he was just beating your face in moments ago, Beast is like, "Hey, is everything all right? What'd you find up there?"
He kind of
like he wasn't there.
He loses his whole mojo once he walks in that room and sees the blood everywhere.
Fair enough. He's understandably so.
Maybe Beauty wasn't just gonna go cheat on me. Maybe she was actually investigating something going on here. Maybe I jumped the gun and tried to kill this dude over nothing.
Yeah. Side note, do you think Beauty and Snow White are good friends in this universe? I feel like they would either love each other or be bitter rivals for some reason. I don't know why.
I don't really have much... if we want to just use our imagination, I think they're best friends. But I don't really think they've had any actual connection yet in the story.
Not to my knowledge, no.
Yep.
But anyways, so you're there. You're as Big B. You're kind of like in this huff and puff all over everything, and you're really upset. You're just trying to get through the hotel and trying to figure out a lead to where to find this guy because you are ready to throw some hands, and you're ready to throw down. So as you're leaving, Beast kind of says, "Oh, well, I was just over at the Trip Trap bar, and I heard a couple people talking about a funeral for Holly. You might be able to find some information there." So that's pretty much what you do. You go to leave, and the only thing that really happens of note after that is that Beauty kind of stops you, and she's like, "Hey, just a heads up, remember what you just saw, and it's going to be even worse and weirder for Snow White because she's a delicate little flower, and you're a old big boy and big man, strong. You can handle this. She can't," kind of thing. And I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna do what's right.
Mean, I think she kind of mentioned specifically like the pictures that he took.
Oh yeah,
because that was weird, and that would be even like harder for her.
Which leads directly into what I did, which was show her the pictures. But we'll get there.
Okay. Well, we'll get there.
So you realize you heard about the funeral, and I thought we were going to go to the bar, and I'm stupid. We went to the funeral. So You go and you have the choice. Snow White is there, kind of giving a eulogy. You get the choice to kind of like interrupt her, or just kind of sit in the back, don't interrupt, or try to like gesture her over. I was nice enough, and I just kind of let it ride because I was like, it's not going to solve anything for 30 seconds sooner.
I
So, like,
gestured,
yeah.
and she was like, I was like, so it's all good.
Did she give you like the look?
I mean, he was very like,
feel like that's what she
like he
did.
basically kind of like inclines her head, like stares at her, and he's just like, it was very, very subtle. He wasn't like a jerk about it, but then she was just like she was like, I am not doing that. I'm in the middle of this, and so I just started investigating stuff around there, and I read the letters and stuff.
Yeah, which that's what I was going to bring up, because I did see the letters and stuff, but actually, no, I didn't. I didn't see the letters and stuff because I talked to Prince Edward because he was alive for me.
Oh, that's
Oh,
so
And
weird.
so
Oh, that's really
so
weird.
he-
Okay.
he talks about, he pretty much says, I don't know why I'm here, but it just kind of feels right. This would have been me if it weren't for you coming and saving me and convincing me not to kill myself and blah, blah, blah.
That's awesome.
He's
you
like,
got
so
to
I
do
just
that.
feel like I owe it to her to like just kind of be here and support them.
I just went and assaulted a toad family instead of saving a man,
Nice.
so that's pretty cool.
Smacking him around.
Sad.
So after the whole speech and after I talked to him, I just kind of walked over and, they're like, hey, Big B Wolf, is everything okay? And then Holly's like, nah, I told you to stay far away from here, bruh. Why are you here? And, me, I was like, listen, I don't want no trouble. And she's like, ha, funny coming from you, bro. Trouble just seems to follow you. And I was like, well, I can't argue with you there. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
And at least in my decision, I'm glad I said that because immediately trouble appears, like as if it were on cue.
Well, before the trouble appears, you are given an option as to whether or not you tell Holly and everyone else just publicly who you think is the killer, or who at least like what was going on with that. And so I did.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, it was Crane. And
yeah, I tried to like, I think I said I was here to talk to Snow White, and then whenever I went to talk to Snow White, I just didn't pull her aside, and I was like, oh yeah, Crane murdered Lily. And
that's hilarious.
he was like, oh, whoops.
Nice.
You know what's funny?
Yeah, so that was interesting.
What's funny?
That every time that
was
dude
Gren's
with the
arm.
like, yeah. Every time he like tries to act tough, all I see is like just him with one arm in a sleeve and another sleeve just hanging. I'm like, how often do you not learn your lessons?
I'm glad that's what Josh took away from it. He's like, do you want to lose another arm?
He's always getting your face. I'll take you back down.
Listen,
like,
I am
like,
about
I'll
as
just take the other
far
arm.
from a Gren supporter as you could find, but I'm still not going to rip a dude's arm off.
Well, we'll
Yeah.
get. We'll just
I'm kind of a Gren sympathizer. I'm gonna be honest.
Interesting.
I'm not.
But, yeah.
I want to
But,
take his leg off and beat him with it.
No, I'm too psychologically invested to not give a crap about him. I'm like,
I
you,
get
sir,
that.
are trying to be a puzzle, so I'm gonna figure you out, buddy.
Very nice.
But yeah, so you have the choice to basically choose how you want to reveal the murderer and what you found out. I decided, I was gonna tell Snow White in front of everybody, and they were like, oh, gasp. And
Yes.
right. And at that point, let's see. Oh yeah. So, you have the idea. She's like, it's best to stick to the facts. You don't know what actually happened. He might not be responsible for murderers. And I was like, bro, are you saying Pixar didn't happen? Because shabam,
Mm-mm.
pick it is.
Nope. Okay, so
she
how it
got a
went
little
for me?
teary-eyed, and then she really shut down emotionally after that. That's pretty much what happened.
It lets you get through that without showing her the pictures. I was like, yeah, it's him, and she's like, well, how can you prove this? Like, do you know for a fact? And he's like, yeah, there were pictures, and she trusted you, and you didn't have to show her that terrible thing. So I didn't. Josh, did you show her the pictures, or just tell her about them, or what?
I showed everything.
Really? The way you said that,
I love Josh as a
But
detective
I was trying.
right now.
I was very nice. Like I was trying to be very sympathetic with her, and not cause an argument.
But
and
look
like,
at this.
Yeah, well, I was like, I'll just show the picture because it's the quickest thing to proof.
Yep.
Instead of her just sitting there and like yelling at me for being here the entire time. Because the whole reason you're there to begin with is because
She's in
you
danger.
think Snow
Yeah.
White is in danger.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, I'm not even gonna waste my time like trying to go around this. I'm just gonna show her the picture I found, show her the proof, and then be like, all right, what do you want to do next?
I would like to say that was my reasoning behind it too, but I was just like, you know what? Let's just plow through this. You just gotta believe me. I didn't feel like arguing with her. I was like, this might just take away precious time.
She
So here
didn't
we
put
are.
up an argument for
Here's
me,
the
so
pics.
you didn't really have to do that. But hey,
I don't think she did either. I just kind of assumed she would because games and being
I feel
stubborn.
like, I guess, yeah. I feel like she generally trusts you, though. Like that you're doing your best and whatnot. And if you say that you have some incriminating evidence of that sort, I just took it that she would be like, all right, well, that's fine. We'll move on. But just because of the fact that the girl was glamored
I
as
don't,
her,
especially what happens later on in
That's
this
a lot.
episode. I would have shown her the picture sooner after how she acts later on.
Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah, you didn't know about that yet, though. Yeah,
because a good old classic brothers from just some good old boys show up and decide they wanted to be part of the funeral as well. Andrew, who were they?
Oh, it was old D and Dumb, bro. They were
Tweedledum, the gangsters of this story.
And they definitely, like, I'm sure they were purposely made that way, but they definitely are just. They're portrayed so well just to be the big stupid muscle.
Oh, these guys
And I
are
love
dumb
it
as
so
bricks.
much.
Yeah.
And but it's great because I feel like in the whole game so far, they have the most expressive faces, though. Like, they always have these insane, like
You're
you
not
can always,
wrong.
it's never confusing if they're like scared or happy or sad or whatever. You always know. And they're like, they move their fat rolls on their necks and stuff, like, to show their emotions.
They have
Great.
extra muscles
Brilliant.
that have grown with the fat rolls so that they can like move them separately. It's impressive, actually.
Yeah, they're the classic example of like fat strong. Like, there's fat and sloppy, but they're like, we used to work out all the time and we're still fat, but we'll still.
They're also like super short and everything too. And
Italian.
Yeah, they really are.
They really are. You're absolutely right, Josh. 100%.
Like they have the hats and everything.
So yeah, they decide
the cigars.
They decide to show up at the funeral, and at first you're thinking, "Oh, cool, they're gonna." I mean, no one really thought they were there to support the funeral, but then they were just like, "Hey, shotguns to your back. Hope you like this feeling." And they were basically just saying, "Hey, we're crashing this funeral. All we're here to tell you is like, don't look into Crane. Like, just keep your nose clean." I think they say something like, "Stay in your office for all we care for the next 3 days, but just let this blow over." Yeah. Something to that effect. It eventually makes you pick a decision if you weren't figuring out already that you were going to have to choose whether you kind of take their deal or not, of just to stay out of it. Yeah. I definitely was like, "Nah, fam, you think I'm scared? You think I'm gonna just listen to you? I'm not taking your deal."
I think I gave you an option like you messed with me on the wrong day or something like that. I think I don't remember, but like
there was like, "Don't do this here." You could have questioned that they worked for somebody.
Yeah, it was something along the lines of like, "This is the wrong day to start something."
Yeah, it could have been a line later on though. I don't really remember, but.
And then when you're making the decision, you could say, "You think I'm scared? Fine, it's a deal, or just don't hurt anyone."
Yeah, I said just. I
said, "Yeah, I said you think I'm scared," because I was making my intentions clear that I had no. We do not. I'm hoping this is the United States. I'm not sure because it doesn't explicitly state, but we do not negotiate with terrorists around here. Not at all. Mm-hmm. So I told them straight up no. And then they're like, "Well, we were here to make a deal with just Big B." And of course, everyone is coming over because they're like, "Hey, what are these bums doing here?" And at that point, Tweedledee and Tweedledum just kind of look and say, "Well, we were here to make a deal, but he doesn't want to play nice." And I pretty much said, "You're dang right, I don't want to play nice." And then you had the choice to reveal kind of why they're there, because they were gonna try to slyly either get away or just make a scene or whatever.
I told them.
I decided, I straight up, I was like, hey, this is why they're here. It's because of
They're like,
Crane.
"Oh, you shouldn't have done that."
Yeah, that was actually a pretty good impression. Good job. Yeah, so then they start blasting away, and
They do
Holly
just
and
start
Gren get
blasting.
involved. And, everybody gets shot. Nice little action
That's
sequence.
the thing, though. It's the action sequence begins with Holly. You just hear like a ripping and tearing, and then like everyone going, "Hurr," and then it's just like Holly, like a 9-foot troll, ogre. What is it again? Troll.
Yeah.
And then she just sprints at them and immediately gets shot and knocked down. And it was kind of hilarious. I mean, it's terrible, but shotgun blast to the like chest or something, and then she's down. And then Gren goes after the other guy and starts beating on him, and he gets shot too. And then you kind of get into a quick time sequence. You get a chance to actually go after one of the dudes, so it shows like to like hit him or his gun. So I went for the gun because that's what you do in that situation, and it didn't exactly work out the best because the other guy got the upper hand of Gren and then turned around and shot you, and then it was
I wonder
kind of
if
a
he
mess.
would have just taken out one of the Tweedles instead of the gun if maybe the other
don't
person wouldn't have
know.
got shot. I doubt it, but I just didn't.
I
go
don't
back
know
and
if there's a
figure it out.
different way out of that situation, but at the end of this, both I think I'm pretty sure Gren was shot too, but I feel like he can take more than Holly.
Yeah.
Holly was shot,
Mhm.
and then obviously Beast can take a lot. He was shot over and over again, and then both Tweedles left and they got away. For me, at least.
Beast
that
wasn't
Yeah,
there.
they got away. I didn't see.
I'm sorry, not
yeah,
Beast. Did I say
didn't see
Beast? I'm sorry. Big Bad Wolf, who is also a type
Big
of
Bad
beast.
Wolf
yeah.
didn't get
I
shot
don't
then
know
either,
why.
did he?
He got shot.
He got shot once, yeah, because
Maybe
that
not
leads
over
into
and
the
over
next
again,
scene
but-
when the doctor's patching him up.
Yeah.
Because he's like, "Oh, we got all the buckshot out of your shoulder, but
Did you not get
he
shot
did
for
get
don't
you?
be yourself." Basically,
He did. I forgot.
Okay. Thank you for reminding. I mean, I guess you have it pulled up there, so you can just continue with the recap. And just I couldn't remember what scene was next.
certainly. So at that point, Snow takes you back to, I believe that's technically Ichabod's office, like we'll call it the Fable Community Office or whatever.
That's fine.
And so at that point, you're seeing the doctor, and I can't remember his name, but I don't think it's rather arbitrary, anyways. But the doctor's basically like, "Hey, don't." He literally says, "Don't be yourself.
Mhm.
Take it easy." And so, of course, you can choose on what your focus is, whether it's, "Hey, Snow White, are you okay? I'm simping for you," or is it, "Listen, you know that's what it is. Don't give me that look." But you can basically say, "I'm focused on Ichabod Crane," or whatever. And they do kind of show that the magic mirror on the wall, is in shambles.
Chambers.
And shambles. For those of you watching that get that reference, I love you. But yeah, so old Buffkin is trying to
Buffkin.
put the mirror back together, kind of hoping that it'll just repair itself because it's all cracked up. And then as soon as he puts it together, he's like, "Guys, I can't get it fixed because it's missing a big old shard." And they say shard, but that was a piece of glass, bro. That sucker that's a big mirror, and that was pretty big.
Yeah.
So at that point, you kind of get the choice of, do we just wait for the mirror to heal itself over time? Do we have any other leads? And it's pretty much then, while you're discussing what's going on, that old Bluebeard decides he's
my
gonna
gosh.
come in and ruin your day.
It was Buffkin, not Bluffkin. I'm sorry.
I guess technically before that, you do have a little bit of investigative journalism going on. You talk to Buffkin and
go through
comfort him or whatever,
and you get his
and
key
you
to
go through his desk.
Yeah,
absolutely. The old room, and then you see all the different the few different letters there.
I probably
that
have
were
more
addressed to people.
sympathy toward Gren than I do for Bluebeard. Bluebeard is like
interesting call. All
really,
right, so
do you not feel the same way? I can't stand Bluebeard.
I don't like Bluebeard either, but I already told you I'm a sympathizer for Gren. So
yeah, I know. I was just saying, like, I'm not a huge sympathizer for Gren, but I can understand where you're coming from. If you said that about Bluebeard, I would say I can't.
Yeah, that brings up a good question because that just made me think I really want to see Gren and Bluebeard fight each other for some reason.
Awesome.
I feel like as much as I think Gren is this big bad monster from Beowulf, he's just been getting his butt handed to him, so I wouldn't be surprised if Bluebeard beat him up.
He's
But that's
scary
just
though,
my
that's for
take.
sure. He's a big old.
Yeah, he's definitely got the like intimidation
Yeah.
factor.
That's true.
But yeah, so Bluebeard comes in and he's like, "Well, we got to figure this out. You two, I don't know who put you in charge, but you're both buttholes, and I don't like you."
Yeah.
Important thing also before I forget. While you're investigating, you do find that a page is torn out of a book, and it seems to be something that Ichabod Crane is looking for. And all you know is that it's a ring. The rest of the pages are ripped off,
Yeah.
so you know he's after a ring. And that's when Bluebeard jumps in. And he basically says, "Listen here, feller and lady, I'm highly upset with you guys, and you shouldn't be in charge. I'm way better at this than you. I'm going to make the decisions." And that's pretty much what he does. He just comes in and decides he's the main character for this scene.
He does.
And
he said, "I'm taking over this investigation."
He literally said, like, I tried as Bigby to be like, "This is my investigation, settle down." He literally just curtly ignores you.
Yeah, he does.
And he's like, "This is the way I see it. We can either go to Tweedledee and Tweedledum's office, we can go to Crane's apartment, and the other option is to go to Holly's bar." He's like, and it's like, that's what we're doing. Wherever you guys don't go, I'm going. So figure it out. And then you got to make the choice where you go first.
I'm very interested to hear this because I chose the one that was like very, 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 like 19% of people chose to go to this one.
Oh,
I went to the Tweedle office because in my head, these are like the biggest like leads we have. Like there's Crane's apartment, but I did not expect to find him there. And I knew that Tweedle's like they basically
I made
before
all
this,
of
the
my
scene before
choices for some different reasons.
That's fine. But the scene before, they pretty much said, Tweedle's guys said that they were working for Crane in some capacity.
Mm-hmm.
So in my head, I was like, these are like the hired guns. I'm going to go there and find out what I can from them. And I find out at the end after the next on, which I just muted my thing for because I don't like those. I walked through, it was like 19% of people decided to go to the Tweedle office first. So Bluebeard goes, "Well, I'm going to go to Crane's apartment then." So,
yeah.
Yeah, what did you guys choose?
And I chose. See, I wanted to go to Holly's bar. I didn't first because I still kind of think at this point that Bluebeard is involved a little bit more than I realize. Just because he's kind of one of the few characters that are still flapping in the wind with what they're actually doing here, aside from just being in the game.
Yep.
So I only went to Crane's apartment because he wanted to go there for some reason. And at first I thought he's going to go there and I'm going to be there with him. Better to supervise this bum. He obviously didn't go there, but I went to Crane's apartment pretty much because I think he was either trying to cover something up or wanted to find something. So I went to his apartment.
Okay.
So I kind of did the same thing as Andrew, but different reasons. I wanted to go to the Cranes because I thought, like, this is going to be the same decision where you pick to go to Toad's or you go to the Prince's house.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, the number one, and I think the reason it was only 19% is for what I'm about to say.
Okay.
Is because I think everybody's like, the most logical place to go very next would be Tweedledee and Tweedledum's.
Yeah.
They just shot a whole bunch of people. They know something. They're telling you to stay away from Crane. They might know where Crane is. All this. So, like, the logical step would be to go to their place. Just like the logical step was to go to Toad's because, like,
Toad was on the phone into traps is what you're saying.
Telling you to see, like, he was seeing people. So then I'm like, well, that prince died because we didn't go there first. We went to Toad's.
Sad.
If Toad's was the most logical place and the Tweedledee's is the most logical place, I'm not going to pick Tweedledee's then. So then
I feel like if that was the case, the best choice would be the bar then.
No. So it might have been, but the reason I went to Ichabod's
apartment
place is because she pulls you aside, at least for me, and says, she thinks something's going on with him, or like he's trying to get into his living place for a certain reason. She wasn't comfortable with the fact that he was trying to get into Ichabod's place alone. And I'm like, this is going to be a great way to like get another point with Snow White. So I was like, because I was like, if he's going to try to fight somebody, I'll just let him go to Tweedledee, like take care of that. You can have that. I'll take the one like trying to work with Snow White. Yeah. And I was like, I'll take the apartment. So that's my logic.
I believe to continue at this point, because you did just basically choose where you wanted to go. I think we should follow Nathan first, because two of us made the same choice in going to the apartment first. So I don't know what happens going to the office first.
Nathan, break it down.
So break it down, homie.
Was that it? Was that good?
That wasn't bad.
So I went to the Tweedle estate, the Tweedle offices, and I meet a young lad, a strapping young lad. He looked like maybe he was in his 20s, named the Flycatcher, who is actually, I found out later, which I kind of felt dumb, is supposed to be the frog that was kissed and turned back into a human.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he was the I don't know if I guess he's not a prince, but he was definitely a frog at one point. And did you guys meet this guy?
I didn't meet him because I didn't ever go to the office, to be completely honest.
You don't get the option to go to the office the way you...
No, you do. I just chose not to.
Interesting. Okay. So you might get some spoilers here, but I show up there and this guy's out in the hallway and he's just sweeping. He's very obviously like the janitor or whatever there. He's just the cleaning crew. And he's like the nicest character I've met in this story so far. He's just like chill.
Well, that's good.
Super nice. He's just like, oh, hey, Bigby. He's just, I don't know, man. He's just cool. And you're just like, you're kind of try to pull a fast one on him at first, because you ask if, given the options, what I chose is that you can ask if they're like in, at the moment, the Tweedle brothers, and he says, they kind of make their own schedule. They're here sometimes, but you never really know when they're going to be. And he said they're not here at the moment. So I tell him, well, you should take the rest of the night off because I'm going to go into the apartment or to the offices, and or to their office. And I don't really know this guy. I don't know if he's going to be a hindrance to me snooping around. He's like, well, I can't do that. I got to finish this. But, I can let you into the office if you want. So I was like, oh, cool. So he kind of goes in there with me and he's like sweeping around in their office, and, you are the sheriff. So he kind of trusts you and he's just like, yeah, look around if you want to, just probably don't break anything or whatnot. And, so I start looking around. I find a filing cabinet with files, on 5 different characters.
Cool.
One of them was Donkey Skin. So nice. That was interesting. One of them was Ichabod Crane, which he was kind of looking for. And it's just like, it looks like it's like money owed to the Tweedle brothers by these people or something like that.
Okay.
And there were 3 other people, and I honestly don't remember who they were, but it wasn't really relevant to the story. At least I don't think. And other than that, I'm just looking around the office. I'm checking out. There were some letters written, like one letter that was like written and it obviously sent through the mail to one of the Tweedle brothers, and then another one sent back to the other one in response, and it was about, brother, I think we should get a dog. And then the other one was like, I hate dogs. And that's actually what the letters were. And he calls them...
That's great.
He's like, yeah, these guys are freaks. Like, he actually says, like, what a bunch of freaks. But I have a feeling they were, like, cryptic or something like that. Like, a dog is to them something, because that was way too, like,
I can understand that line of thinking.
But
I can understand that. I'm just concerned because I don't know if they are that smart. But they could be the one who didn't come up with the idea.
Maybe I'm just used to like intelligent village, but they could be right. These could be just some dum-dums who's like,
yeah. I definitely see your position though, because it obviously they're not in charge.
Yeah,
like they are just the hired muscle. So it could have easily been this random person's idea of, you guys need to communicate in this kind of cryptic fashion so that
True.
no one gets onto you.
There could be a
And
lot
so
of
yeah,
things.
they're
It could be them
and they're
just
simpletons, Yeah,
sending them.
could
I
just
don't
be
know.
them being simpletons. Yeah.
Yep. Apart from that, though, you just like after every time you go into something and you're like taking a look at it, the flycatcher kind of talks to you, and he's just like, he's telling you about how good these guys are. He's like, yeah, they're real stand up guys. They're they brought me in, they helped me, they gave me a job and stuff like that. And Big Me's just like, because we know that they're a little bit not exactly that.
But I think that perpetuates. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're fine. It gets to the point where the flycatcher is kind of getting a little bit like frustrated that Big B is like thinking these guys did something bad, and he's like, no, really, they're like good guys. They wouldn't do something like this. And then Big B gets frustrated and says, they are hired guns. Like these guys kill people for money. And the flycatcher kind of gets real like sad. Because I think he believes you and he doesn't realize that they were like bad people. So he kind of shuts up for a little bit, and then you kind of keep looking around, and then he says, there's a door behind this bookcase. If you want to, what you're looking for is probably down there. So
are you all right over there, Josh?
Yeah, Josh, are you having a good time?
Yeah, I'm just listening to the story. It's pretty good.
I'm not sure how long I'll be. Not yet. And
yeah, you tell her what's up.
Oh yeah, and so we found like a key in a cigar box before we didn't know what it went for, and now we do. So we unlocked the bookcase, which the bookcase is the door. Like there is a locking mechanism in the bookcase, which was odd. So we go down these flight of stairs to like this relatively well kept, but still like cement basement. And there were some shelving units in there and stuff like that. And I found on one of the shelves, it was I think a glamour tube was one of them. And I also found, oh shoot, what was it? It was like a little container. I don't remember what it had in it. I'm sure it'll come to me. And flycatchers were just kind of just sweeping this whole time. And at some point while you're looking around in the basement, Snow calls you, and actually, no, I think you call Snow, and you kind of like get that all, like you kind of let her know what's been going on, what you've been finding, and I can't remember. There was at least one important thing you find down there that like gave you information, and unfortunately, I'm blanking on as to what it was. But you end up leaving, and there's no encounters, no Tweedle deeds, and Tweedle dudes.
It's kind of surprising.
Yeah, I was expecting them to like end up showing up while you're in the basement or something like that, and then there being some kind of confrontation. But no. Before you go, you get an option. It's an option. However, 89% of people did this, which blew my mind. I gave because Crane is no longer working in the office because he's like on the run or whatnot. I guess the flycatcher had worked for their office before in the past and gotten fired by Crane. And so you offer him a job back at the office to help them out, do whatever. I don't know if he's going to just clean or what, but that was pretty cool. He was a nice kid. And
nice.
He was like, I don't even know if I want to work here anymore after what I learned about them. So it was pretty great, actually. And so you end up leaving, and I guess like I said, you relay everything to Snow, and then I went to Crane's house. It's really unfortunate.
Okay, and that's where we started off, yeah.
Because that's where Bluebeard went.
Josh, you went to Crane's apartment first,
yes.
right? So how did that go?
Because I missed out on some stuff.
So you go in and you start looking around.
Before I forget, since you went there second, Nathan, was Bluebeard still there when you got there? Because he wasn't at all for us. Okay, that's fine. I was just curious. Go ahead, Josh. I'm sorry.
So like I was trying to say.
My bad. Bad.
You walk in and you're kind of like looking around, and you're looking at everything, and almost everything in the house, Big B's like, Ichabod is a show off. He's got a statue of himself. Like, this is ridiculous.
That's funny.
He had a book on like lovemaking. And he's like, I bet this
And
never
he's like, I
helped.
bet those didn't work. I was like, dang, he's roasting him.
And you open a drawer.
That's ridiculous.
And there's an envelope and a note. So I took the envelope first because I thought, oh, something will be cool in the envelope. It's money. Ichabod has been stealing from the community to pay for his hookers.
Embezzlement.
Nice. Good stuff.
So
Ichabod.
it's got money in the envelope, and he goes, this is all I could get for right now. And it goes, keep the money or put it back. And I'm like, Andrew didn't take the money the last time, and something came up that we needed money. I'm going to take the money this time to see if something comes up that we need money.
I thought it was a farce. I saw the money and I was like, you're not going to get me twice in a row. I'm not taking the money again because I'm going to be consistent.
Can
So
I
I
say
took
something? Can I say something? I remembered what it was that I
Mhm.
found in the little tin. It was
Okay.
a lot of cash.
Did you take the money?
I did.
Oh,
we
I'm
talked
the only
about
one
it.
who. I
No,
am the
listen.
only good cop.
Listen, but you said you regretted not doing it because of who it was for. So I decided I was going to. It has not come up yet. I'm just saying. Not at all. I pocketed it. Flycatcher didn't see it. It was forgotten since. I'm sure it'll come up later. However, I just I was like, because I wanted to see how that changes something somewhere down the road compared to yours. But I also justified it by saying that I feel like them having less money is probably somehow a good thing in some way.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, you
Fair
can
enough.
continue, but yeah, that was like something that I found down there that was
A quick addendum.
Yeah.
Josh, I don't think, if I remember, maybe I'm not remembering it right, but I thought that letter kind of incriminated Crane to that he was paying somebody off, because I thought it just said something to the effect
I don't know.
of
There was two letters in there. There was the envelope with cash, and I don't know if there was something there, and then there was a letter next to it.
No, yeah, because you're right. There's two letters. That's why I was thinking. But yeah, I think
remember
one
what
of
their
them.
actual letter was, but when he picked it up,
one of them
was it.
says like it was, he's paying hookers, and the other one was saying that he's been paying somebody out of the office funds. So it's regardless, he's a sleazebag. Continue.
So you look at the other letter, picks it up, and he's like, "Oh, shiny key! I'm gonna keep that." And it's a key to his room. You unlock it, and as you go to walk in, the dude from the bar, the blonde head guy, that Holly told to leave because the dude wouldn't shut up, is trying to escape. He's the guy that had everything that you found, Nathan. He had a bunch of those like little tubes with the deer on them.
Oh, okay.
He gave us the name of the witch.
Yeah, there were like 4 of those suckers in there. There was a ton of them.
Yeah, he had a bunch of them. So then Snow White came and found us. We told her that he was stealing and everything.
Oh, whoa, you skipped a lot there. I don't think he has any idea what you mean by he's stealing anything.
I just said he was stealing the...
Who's he?
Crane.
I don't know his name. I just told you. The guy from the bar that Holly kicked out was in Ichabod's room when you opened
it was
the door.
Jack.
I'm a Jack? Okay.
Yeah.
He was trying to escape. He was stealing. He had them glamours that we just talked about. And then at the same time, Snow White comes in and she's like, "Who are you talking to? We?" And she's like, "Oh, what are you doing here?" And you tell her, you have the choice to tell her and stuff. And it's like, he'll remember this. You told, like, didn't let him go. You told on him.
Mm-hmm.
And then you tell her we got the name of the witch.
Aunty Greenleaf.
Yeah. And then you tell her too that Ichabod's been embezzling. But you don't tell her that you took money.
That's because some of us didn't take the money.
You end up leaving and going to Holly's.
Okay. I show up at Bluebeard's when going there second. Buffkin's there.
Oh. Interesting.
And all of Ichabod Crane's stuff was burned.
Oh.
Bluebeard burned it.
Bro, Bluebeard, I'm going to say it, and I'm probably wrong, but now I'm really suspicious of Buffkin, too. I'm not a fan of that at all. Because whenever he
I
was
asked
in the
Buffkin,
shop cleaning
like,
up the mirror,
what happened, or like what, and he said,
Mhm.
you know, he like overpowered him, and he is just like this little monkey. He said he tried to do something about it, but he couldn't because he's just a little monkey. But he also could be lying. You're right. I mean, you never know.
yeah, no, because there
I'm
was
not,
that
like-
scene. I don't know why they brought attention to it, but when he was cleaning up the glass from the mirror, they made it a point for him to like pick up a piece of glass and cut himself on it, as he said, because he was cleaning up, and he just goes ow, and he look over, and he just immediately looks to Snow White and he says, no reason to worry, dear. I just cut myself on glass cleaning it up. And then goes back to what he's doing. And combined with what you said, no, I don't trust Buffkin now.
Yeah,
He's
it was
on to
weird.
something.
And I think
Little
the whole
devil.
point of him being there was so that he could have someone explain what happened. But
Okay.
it was just like, yeah, Bluebeard burned it all. It was just like evidence. I like looked at the remains of stuff in the fireplace, but I could only get so much out of it, and then I ended up leaving for the trip trap.
Oh.
So Josh, did you okay, so you go to the bar regardless. Okay. I thought I had a choice to go to the office, but I guess I didn't.
I'm surprised you guys
probably just
did not
making
go to
that
the office. Did it not let you go to the office if you didn't go there first?
I don't know. I went to even if it did, I went to Ichabod's.
Yeah, I
and then
chose
went to
Holly's
the
bar either way.
Interesting.
But what was I gonna say?
Maybe
Oh,
Holly's
did
bar
you
is, like,
play the voicemail,
last
Josh?
one or something. I don't know.
What?
Did you play the voicemail when you were there?
Yes.
What voicemail?
So
There was
there's a
a
voicemail by
phone.
someone who will not be named because they appear later in the episode. But a certain female left a voicemail for Ichabod Crane, just basically threatening him, saying, the crooked man, basically saying, the crooked man wants his money, and you need to give him his money,
Where was
or
this
else I'll have to
voicemail?
come visit you and kill you. It
was
was
on
in,
Ichabod's phone in his.
yeah. So there's a voicemail.
Oh, Ichabod's phone was in his
living
apartment? Excuse me.
Yeah, he's
No,
got
it was like a house phone.
yeah, house phone.
Dang, I missed out on
you
a
have
lot.
the time.
Yeah, so a certain character that you don't know yet just leaves an intimidating voicemail saying, "Oh, we need our money."
But I
That
assume
sort of
she
thing.
doesn't give her name, right? Like, you don't know at
No,
the time
she
who
does
she is?
not.
Okay.
No. But yeah, so we go to Holly's bar after that. Probably my favorite thing so far in the game happens, even though it's really silly. Let me get there because we already talked about all
Dude,
that.
Gren is high as a kite.
Yes, he is, which is why it was like my favorite thing. Because Gren is amazing. So Gren just it says that it's closed for bereavement, and you have the choice on how you want to enter, but I just announced who I was, and I was like, yeah, it's me. And Gren opens up and he's like, hey, look, Woody, it's the sheriff. And he's like super high.
I kind of made a
And-
mistake here. Not really, but it
Mhm.
felt like it until I realized it didn't really have an effect because he didn't care because he was high
Yeah.
as a kite. I kicked the door.
Yeah.
You want me to tell you why? I'm going to tell you why. It says closed for bereavement, so I was like, okay. I heard voices inside, and I heard like these guys laughing and saying she's asleep now or something like that. And I was like, this sounds really bad. So I was just like, I'm gonna bust right in here real fast, make sure I don't miss anything. And I kicked the door, and I was just like, ow, and nothing happened. And then Gren opens the door. I'm like, oh crap, but it didn't have any effect.
Nice. And yeah, so you just go in. Gren's just like, hey, look who it is, yada yada. And
Hey, it's big.
you can pretty much choose what your focus is going to be.
Yeah.
Your focus can either be Gren stop being high as a kite, sober up. It can be I'm looking for Lily stuff, or I want to talk to Holly, and that's kind of the three main options that you have throughout this whole thing. The woodsman is there, assumingly just trying to comfort the both of them, and he's the one who reveals that they were both given some sort of ambrosia for the pain, so they were just giving really strong painkillers. And Gren very graciously describes that if you fight sleeping on them, because they try to make you sleep, you will get a really, really nice high, as he put it. And then you were definitely not supposed to drink with it. And naturally, the next thing he does is try to pour everybody drinks because he's high as a kite.
And both you
have the
Beast, not Beast. Why do I keep saying Beast? I think I just really like Beast. the woodsman is like, dude, you shouldn't be drinking that. They told you not to be drinking on this. And then
Yeah, he's trying to be a good guy now. Like, he's turning over a new leaf. Yeah.
And then I actually like had a point of dialogue where I was like, yeah, you really probably shouldn't be doing that, dude. And he just didn't care. He just did his own thing. And so he pours everyone drinks, and you know, you can.
Did you get the little scene where like the woodsman and Gren get in like a little scuffle?
Yeah, because like Woodsman brings up again that he shouldn't drink, and then Gren turns around and just like hauls off and like
yells at him for sleeping with Holly. I mean, Lily.
Yeah, he does bring that up.
Yeah.
Does he punch him, or they? I don't remember what happens exactly, but they just get.
They just kind of each other. Yeah.
And then
Did you let him fight it, or did you step away, you broke it up?
Yeah.
Did you break it up, Josh?
Yes.
Me too.
So I don't have time to sit here and babysit you two.
Yeah, it was great.
I was nice with them. I drank with them. Like, I'll be nice.
I was relatively, but at the same time, they started fighting, so I had to do something about that. But
yeah, I tried to stop the woodsman from leaving. I was like, I have questions for you, and then Gren was all, "Oh, whenever I'm drinking and doing stuff, you just want me to stop and do what you want. But whenever he tries to leave, now all of a sudden you got questions for him. Make up your mind."
Yeah.
And then, of course, I don't even remember what I tried to say, but the reason why it's my favorite point in the game is because Telltale Games is known for, anytime you make a decision that means something and will have story effect, it always tells you in the top left-hand corner, such and such will remember this or whatever. And it just, you try to say something to Gren, he says, "Excuse me while I go to bed," passes out and just says, Gren
will not remember this.
Greatest thing ever.
That made me so happy.
Absolutely.
I laughed out loud at that. That's fantastic. And so you end up going back to where Holly is because you need to look through Lily's stuff, and those two were just not going to be helpful in this. They were just... I mean, Woodsman was Woodsman, and he was not really part of it, and then Graham was just absolutely out of it. So you just decide to take matters into your own hands. Holly's just behind the bar and just asleep on some bench. Cot. It was more like a cot. And she is just out of it, but she's still in her troll form. She hasn't glamored back, so she's needed a bigger cot, I guess. You kind of this was an interesting. I mean, you can go along with what you were saying, Andrew, but I thought this was an interesting scene.
Yeah, she's basically, you're trying to find all the stuff, and one of the only things Gren really tells you of any note is don't wake up a sleeping troll because of superstition or something. So I didn't want to try to wake her up, but she does. She was pretty chill for me. She was like real nice, just real groggy. And the whole time you're just, of course, because the game tells you don't wake a sleeping troll, and of course she's guarding her stuff, Lily's stuff that didn't get burned at the funeral. But you end up going through it, and while you're going through everything, she's just kind of half into consciousness and asking you random questions, like, why are you really here? How come you're doing this? That sort of thing.
Okay.
And,
so for me, I checked and I saw the little box of Lily's things under her arm, like under the cot behind her arm where I couldn't really get it. And so I said, okay, I'll look at the other stuff first. I have a feeling she'll like roll over at some point. So I end up looking, there's like a crate of bottles, and it just gives you an option to observe it. And so I do, and you kind of walk into it and you clink them a little bit. And she goes, and she just kind of turns over and moves her arm away. So then I grab the box of Lily's stuff from under the cot, and I'm looking through it, and then she's just like, Woodsman, is that you? And I choose to say nothing.
Did you lie to her?
I didn't lie.
Oh, okay.
I said nothing. Okay. I just didn't do any dialogue because I didn't want to lie to her, but I also didn't want to just be like, I'm Big B, because that would make her mad. And it didn't seem worth it. Wow, okay, interesting. So we had a very different situation. I thought it was cool though, but I didn't say anything. And then she just like kind of just starts talking to you again, and as if you're the woodsman, she just assumes you're him. She doesn't really she's out of it kind of. And you're just looking at more of the stuff that's there and looking through Lily's stuff. And then the third time, I can't remember exactly what she says, but she says something that prompts me to actually respond, but I don't have to lie to her or anything. But she was just like, she was like real mad
she was,
about the
she
about
pretty
the
much
woodsman.
asked. The last question she asked was it was like, why are you doing this? Or no, do you do you actually care about she said like the low lifes or something like that, us like crappy people or whatever. To that I just responded that I was one of you. And he says the option said I'm one of you, in case you don't remember. And what he ends up saying is he's like, I don't know if you remember this, but I didn't exactly grow up with clothes either. And that really like it kind of hit home. I was like, you know what? That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Like he really is kind of the outcast in both social groups. You know, he's not quite the
hated
quote
by everybody.
Yeah. Go ahead, Josh.
Well, I was gonna finish how my conversation went.
Oh, my bad.
Don't even let me talk.
The third thing she says is something along the lines of she was mad at the woodsman who she thought she was talking to about like him being with Lily and whatnot. And
I didn't even think of that.
It gives you an option. I just say, I'm so sorry for everything that happened. Something along those lines, which Bigby is in a way kind of talking about his events and everything hit with him in it. And then she says something. She's like then she starts talking about Bigby. And she's like, I don't even think he really cares about any of us or something like that. So it's very similar to what you said, but like it was still on her mind, but she thought she was talking to the woodsman. And I guess I technically lied by omission by letting her think I was not him, but I was just like, I didn't really want to start a thing, and I thought maybe she would have a problem with me going through her stuff, just showing up there. So, I mean, I basically tell her, I think he's doing or trying to do like what's best for everyone. Like I basically tell her like, like that he's trying to do good. And she's like, huh, you really think so? Well, you know him better. And then she kind of rolls over, and that's pretty much the end of the scene. But I guess it just turned out very different.
Yeah,
because you just straight up told her, "Yo, it's me." But
yeah. And go ahead, Josh. What happens whenever you kind of get the information you're looking for?
I lied. I told her I was what's his face, and the whole dialogue is basically she thinks she's talking to the woodsman.
That's hilarious that we all went different ways.
And she makes a comment kind of like the end of all your guys' conversation, like, so-and-so said that Bigsby is only doing this because he misses the kill from back home. Something along those lines. Like, Bigsby's going crazy because, he misses how he used to be back home. And I kind of replied, like, no, he's not doing it because of that. He's doing it because he cares.
I mean, it's very similar to what happened with mine.
She's like, you think so? And then, like, she snores a little bit, and then he's like, gives you option to, like, say, I'm not wanted, like, he basically, like, he's trying to get this solved because he cares about everybody here. And that was it.
Gotcha.
Same old.
So then moving on from that.
So moving on, you when you do search through the stuff, the only thing of importance really is the address of the Aunty Greenleaf.
Yeah.
So you go to leave, the phone rings at the bar, and it's Snow White, and she's like, "Oh, we need to go." And he's like, "Cool, I know where we're going. I got the address. Let's go, homie." And so then the homies decide, wow, Josh is like a dog, getting that good itch, twitching his leg down there. But so they get to the address that they found. You decide how you would like to open the door. I keep forgetting that's a thing because some of us like to just kick down doors. I always try to knock first, but I'm a polite guy, I guess. So I knock, and some little girl answers. And you can decide if you want to treat her like a little girl, if you want to be like the big bad wolf, or if you just want to try to be like firm and stick to the facts. I just want to look around. So either way, she lets you in. I searched the apartment for a little bit because we should have noted that. I don't think we said it yet technically. Aunty Greenleaf is the witch that Ichabod Crane gets his fate glamours from and whatnot. So he had a meeting with her.
No, I
What's
don't
that?
think we said that.
Okay.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
because Fred, Todd, Jacob, Jordan, what's his name? The blonde hair dude, we caught it.
Jack. I was like, none of these people are characters. What are you talking about?
We went there and Jack told us who Ichabod's Witch was.
Yeah.
I never saw Jack this entire episode.
That's your fault.
That's
your fault.
I wonder how that's gonna play out next episode.
Yeah,
then
it's interesting.
But anyway, so I'm looking around the apartment, finding stuff, and you find the portrait of what Aunty Greenleaf looks like, and you're trying to find her. There's a big tree in the middle of her living room. Check behind the partition, check the closet, and there's a box.
What about the little girl? Did you mention her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's the one that let you in, and she's like just
Rachel,
being a generic little girl. Yeah. Indeed, little Rachel.
Yep.
So you go and eventually check the closet, which has a box addressed from the butcher to Aunty Greenleaf, which is obviously very sus. And the child starts like really tweaking out at this point, because at first she's like, "Please don't touch anything. My mom will get really mad or whatever."
Yeah, I don't
and
want
then
to get in trouble.
She starts really going nuts, and she's like, "Don't do anything."
She loses her mind with the glamour tube.
Yeah, so I pick up the glamour tube, and she's like, "Oh no, don't do it, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, "Shut up, little girl. I'm going to just open this tube." I just basically said, "I have to check this."
Yeah.
And so I just open it, and then she turns into Aunty Greenleaf, and she's like, "It hurts when you just rip it apart like that." And so you basically talk to her and try to just get to the bottom of things. Snow White's trying to play this power move that she's in charge, because she's like really on a power trip right now.
This scene is the only time I was like really really against her decisions or whatever.
Yeah, it seemed at first I thought it was very out of character for her, but we've also been searching for a guy for like a day or two now who was doing nasty things to someone that looked just like her. So I completely understand where she's coming from now, but I wasn't thinking.
Yeah. But even then.
So yeah, she's. Go ahead.
Sorry. I was going to say I kind of go against her orders this time, and apparently most people did. So.
Yeah, I did too. So you find out that go ahead, Josh. What's that?
No, I did too.
Okay. Yeah, you find out that the tree in the living room is how she's like cutting out the glamour tubes to use as to make her trinkets, to make the glamours work and everything. It's from her story, her fable, and she brought it with her. So you have the choice, Snow White's just on a power trip, this raid, and she's like, "Burn the tree down," because she likes it. And you have the choice to just listen to her. You can basically say you want to hire her on as another witch at the department for glamours, or you can just I guess play super nice. I didn't choose that option, but it was basically the opposite of burning the tree down. I decided personally that I was going to hire her on at the 13th floor to become an official witch instead of doing things illegally.
Oh, I didn't do that.
She wasn't happy about it, because when you mentioned it the first time,
I hired her too.
That was my first idea. Yeah. The first time she's like, "I don't play well with others. I'm not some stupid house cat." And that's pretty much it. She's just opposed to the idea. And then Snow kind of looks at you like all rage filled, and she's all, "Bro, how can you even suggest that? She's been doing things illegally and you want to reward her with a job?" And so that's what I did. I rewarded her with her job. I figured, you're getting it off the streets. Yeah, keep her close. And, she's obviously trying to make it like everyone else. I was hoping there would be some way to still kind of, I guess, make her pay for doing things illegally, but there wasn't really that
it didn't come up for me
ramification there. Yeah. So, but yeah, I hired her on. What did you do, Josh? You did something different.
So you made the distinction that like you offered to hire her twice.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of made the suggestion the first time, and that's when she's like, "I'm not a house cat. I don't play well with others." And I'm like, what a reaction to somebody who's like in a terrible position. Like, you have no bargaining power.
Josh, so what did you do?
I left the tree, and I did not hire her. We just left her alone. But for some reason, I was so conflicted. Like, I really wanted to do what Snow White wanted and destroy the tree. But then at the same time, I'm like, but does it really need to be destroyed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, of course it does. She's doing black market things. She's getting people in trouble. She could have possibly been like, I'm not saying she's the reason that the chick died, but like maybe like if she wasn't doing that glamour,
Well, yeah,
sh-
that's the thing. At the end of the day, regardless, she was still involved with the murder.
Yep.
She was an accomplice.
yeah.
So
So that's why I was like, I don't like the tree needs to go. But then I'm like, but I feel bad. But Snow White wants it gone, and I'm like, I'm just gonna leave it alone. We know where she lives. We know where the tree is. She's not gonna just like uproot a tree over in the middle of the night, and we're never gonna find her again. So I left it. I
Yeah.
don't think Snow White was very happy about it, but we just
It doesn't
we
really
left.
come back up though. Like she doesn't like they have more important things, but she was definitely not happy.
oh, it came up for me.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay.
But yeah, that was pretty much similar reasoning why I decided to hire her on. The main reason I didn't want to burn the tree was just because it was honestly, it was kind of out of spite to Snow White because she was just on some drugs at that point. She just was not happy about anything, and she was dead set on just fire and brimstone. And I was like,
Well, I think part of the reason she was so against it is that witch is part of the reason that there's issues amongst the community.
Yeah.
yeah,
But at the same time, the witch made an excellent point. Like the only reason people come to her is
It's
because
cheaper.
they can't afford
hmm
basically what Ichabod's witches, the legal witches that work on the 13th floor, the people can't pay for those glamours, so they have to go black market. And it's like one of
Capitalism,
those
am I
things.
right?
hmm
It's that. There's people in the world that think feminine products shouldn't have to be paid for.
hmm
Okay.
And this is kind of along the same lines. Like,
oh, fair enough.
to live in this world, you have to have a glamour.
Yeah.
And those people don't think that they have to pay for those glamours. So it's a double-edged sword. Should they be cheaper? Yes. If you're forcing people to do something, they got to be able to afford it.
100%.
So
Thank you.
it was very conflicting. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, no doubt. So at that point, you basically just leave, and it gets you towards the last portion. You find out, I believe she tells you, but you basically find out that Crane went to the club, the Pudding and Pie, because she mentions what the ring was that he was looking for, and she tells him it's a ring of dispelling, but it had actually kind of died and fizzled out years
Yeah.
ago. He just didn't know that. So he was trying to use it on the curse or whatever that all the girls seem to have at the club, with my lips are sealed, all that crap. So you go there.
Daddy.
Georgie's being Georgie. He's on the phone and he's like, "Oh, hey, you come to, enjoy the club or whatever." And Josh just probably wailed him in the face.
Did you punch
Just
him?
kidding.
Bro, don't call me out like that.
Did you do it
Did
though?
you though?
Yes.
Yes, I knew it. I just asked where Crane was. How's he react when you just sock him in the jaw?
He immediately calls someone on the phone and is like, "We have a problem." And I'm like, this is sketchy. That dude deserved every bit of I threw at him.
Well, if it helps, even if you ask where Crane is and he says something to the effect of, "Why would that uppity snoot be here?" And then you hear Crane yelling at a girl. And then once you enter the room uninvited, he just says the same thing to the guy on the phone. So yeah, Crane's there just like yanking up Narissa, the Little Mermaid. I didn't do it. Prove it. This ring just needs to work. Blah blah blah. And as soon as I see Crane, I don't give him no quarter. There was, you could yell at him or tell him he's under arrest. No, fam, I
grabbed
just
him.
straight up yanked the fool.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
over there like
I was going to wail
I grabbed
on
him too because he was getting very handsy and like freaking him out. And I'm like,
Exactly.
somebody who's trying to prove their innocence, you're doing a
It was the
terrible
mascara
job.
for
So,
me, my guy.
I don't
saw
know if
the
any-
mascara. I was like, nope, making
So
woman
you're a
cry.
sucker for the Little
I don't know if
Mermaid.
anything in the past has changed how this would happen, how this scene would play out, but you get the choice to grab him, and I do, and then he like pulls his fist back like he's gonna just punch him right in the face, and then Snow's just like, "Big me, don't," and then you just kind of look at her and then stop. Did that happen that way
Which,
for both of you?
real freaking rich coming from Snow White when she just got done with her terrorizing of the Aunty Greenleaf witch.
Mhm.
She's like, burn it all. And now she's like, no, don't resort to violence. Oh, real hypocritical of you there, Snow White.
She just doesn't care about the
Anyways.
trees.
Yeah, she is not going green leaf, if you know what I mean. Hey, so at that point, Crane pretty much pleads that he's not guilty and he never murdered anyone. That's kind of why he stole the ring, because he just wanted to prove his innocence and not
he's
get
doing
caught.
like the definition of sniveling on the floor. Like he's just
absolutely.
He's like a weasel.
Legitimately, literally snivel. And so,
and he's
at that
like,
point,
yeah, I know I'm disgusting, blah blah blah, but I didn't kill these people. And he was like there, very obviously like upset about Lily or whatever. Like he seemed like what he was yelling about at first was like trying to figure out how to, it seemed like he was trying to break the curse. It seemed very obvious he was trying to break the curse so they could talk to him about what actually happened. So I mean, Snow also very quickly was just like, which I know we're about to get into, but just talking about how she thinks he didn't do it. But I think that I didn't really think this whole episode that he was the killer, but we needed to find him regardless. So
I didn't think he was like the killer as in the big evil guy,
but I thought
but
he had something to do with it.
even though the previous episode we kind of figured out that someone was selling glamours to look like other people and we saw it actually happen, for some reason that still wasn't a thought in my mind that someone could be doing the same thing to Crane.
Yeah.
I think it's just my prerequisite of I hate you, Ichabod Crane, please die, was just taking over. So
fair enough.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. He's like, oh, I'm not guilty, and the Snow White says the same thing. She doesn't think he's a murderer, and you just pretty much your dialogue choices have the same outcome pretty much. I did start the scene over because I meant to click a different option for the very last one, which was like when he's on the ground and Snow White is like, oh well, we need to take him in or whatever, and you have the ability to choose what you say. You can choose that you're under arrest for the suspicion of murder. You could just tell him to get up and listen to Snow, or you can say you're lucky Snow's here. And I tried to say like, get up.
I did that too.
And dog, that comment he makes when he's like,
different.
oh, I see who's in charge. I was like, oh
my
man,
gosh,
don't like it. But I accidentally chose your lucky Snow is here, and Big B. Kind of opposite happens. He says something like, I'd have your head hanging from these trees if it were me. And Snow White looks at him and she says, you have to remember, that's when she brings up what you did with Aunty Greenleaf. Is she says, I think you need to remember who's in charge here. You already disobeyed me at the witch's house. Yeah. And she's like, you need to remember that I'm the in charge now, not you. Yeah. And but I went back and chose Get Up because that's what I wanted to pick.
I get that. That's fully if you accidentally like pick on something that's wrong, like go for it. Not if you like, or honestly, if the choice is not obvious, like glass him. Like
like
what the crap was that, man? I didn't know what that was going to be, but I didn't think it would be an act of violence. And
he literally said I will have your head.
But then like Bigby still kind of like says it about as meanly as he can. So
so yeah, he's getting arrested, and right when he does get up and he's getting officially arrested, the most difficult decision so far for me, because at this point when he's like sniveling and trying to act all innocent, I see him and I'm like, dude, you're still a really nasty creep. And I said out loud, I said, I just want to punch you in that fat nose, man. freaking hate this guy.
Break
And
his
then the option comes up to
nose.
break his nose. And I was like, dog, I'm playing good cop this whole time. I can't break it now. So, literally and figuratively. So, I just told him that we were better than him. But I really wanted to punch him in the nose.
I get that.
Did
That's
anybody
great.
decide to punch him in the nose? Because that'd be exciting.
You didn't? Aw. I'm surprised,
Dang.
Josh.
And then the moment that Andrew's been waiting for, you arrest old Crane and you go to leave. You leave out the alley in a car, just like an old timey Italian mafia movie. Just kind of blocks the alleyway, and you're like, I did think it was weird, rather, that when the car blocked the alleyway, that they didn't immediately think something was up. They just kind of were like, oh, we're going to keep walking, but we're going to just go a different direction. And I'm like, bro,
weird.
you just arrested somebody
weird.
and someone is like trying to stop you from arresting him clearly. So, this can't be good. I would have taken off the other direction and took him with me, but they just all hunky-dory just decide to start walking down the other end of the alley. And wouldn't you know, more cars block off that end too. So, and who's in there but old Tweedledee and Tweedledoofus? I mean, dumb. And so they get out with their shotguns and they're like, don't try nothing, bub. And then somebody else gets out and it was some chick. And I was like, hold the phone. I was like, there was that girl who left the voicemail. This is probably her. And I didn't put it together yet. But the one thing, ironically, that kind of set it off for me is I play games with subtitles every time I play. And I saw the blood red subtitles, the only person who has them. And I was like, bro, no freaking way.
I don't have subtitles on. Okay.
I was like, there's no way a crackpot theory came true.
You
Absolutely
figured this
not.
out?
Just by the captions, that was my guess.
Oh, it was a crackpot theory that immediately paid off. Okay.
Yeah.
That's wild.
So I was like, that's insane. There's no way it's her. And then, they were giving me the tease because they were like, oh, she's like, what is it, Tweedledee, that the Mundies call me in their tale? And he was like, all scared to say it. And she's like, you know the one. Don't act stupid. And he goes, buh. And she's like, Bloody Mary. That's the one. I was like, dang right it was. I was like, yes, hilarious. I'm so smart. It really wasn't. It was just a shot in the dark.
That. I straight up was like, okay. I bet we're going to know her. She has some red in her hair. Little Red Riding Hood. I really had no clue. I was like, oh, Big Bad Wolf.
That would have been a good twist. Little Red Riding Hood.
I was like, I had no clue, really. But, and then, I guess it's...
And the only reason I was even intimidated by her is because her and Tweedledee got shotguns, and she's just got this freaking dirty, hairy... Magnum that she's got. And I'm like, you know what? I already know what this is.
Yeah.
I was like, Tweedledee and Tweedledum already lit me up with shotguns multiple times, and I'm fine. I immediately looked at that gun, and I was like, I don't know if this is how it works in this universe, but those are silver bullets in there. 100%. She's trying to put me down.
That was smart.
And
I didn't think about that.
And the fact... it was mainly the fact that she just decided to stroll up.
She was the most confident person in the world in that moment.
Yeah, so. Oh yeah, she definitely had some backup.
I didn't even think about the thought that because he's like a wolf, kind of a werewolf, that I just never really even thought that the big bad wolf would be affected by silver. That's just not like.
Yeah, I wasn't sure either, but I was just like, that was the first thing I came to because she's awesome. So confident.
Yeah.
But so she basically introduces herself and says to the effect, "Give me Ichabod Crane."
And he's like, and then he's like, I didn't tell them anything.
Yeah. Well, shut up, bro. We know it doesn't matter.
We know you know more.
And she keeps calling him like a sack of flour, which I thought was hilarious. I feel like there's some connotation to it, but I don't know. Yeah. So at that point, whenever you just basically say no, I'm not giving up Crane. You get some quick time events. The D and Dumb duo, the triple Ds, decide they're gonna not diners, drive-ins, and dives. The D brothers, but they decide they're gonna just open fire again.
Yep.
You try to get out of the way. You get shot. a bunch of times.
It gives you like a quicktime event that says like hit A to go to the left to dodge the bullets, and it just doesn't work. It was pretty
doesn't
funny.
even work, yeah. So you do another quicktime event to go part werewolf, and you have this dope scene of just like slowly turning more wolf than you have before.
Dude, that was awesome.
And you go into full werewolf, but the whole time they're just trying to mow you down. You just get you just hulk out and get angrier.
Shooting probably upward of 20 shots into you as you're doing all this, and the whole thing was fantastic. Like the music, like
20,
the build up. Finally seeing him
20
go full,
solid shells of just shotgun buckshot. Like this had to hurt, no doubt about it.
Oh yeah.
And so he finally transforms into full werewolf to have the moment to you just show your power.
Yeah.
You know. So you take one of them. I didn't do the dumpster. I did
I did both.
Little electrical box.
No, I did the electrical box and I threw it at them, and then I threw the dumpster at them. And
I guess he does throw the dumpster, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And,
yeah, good. Continue.
But yeah, so he just starts going crazy. You end up getting Tweedle D, I think.
I don't remember which one.
Yeah, you stab one of them basically and just kind of throw him aside. You get the other one and you just start wrecking him and just slamming him into this wall.
Oh my gosh,
and then you get the choice. He's just like
over and over over again.
It was visceral. And then D or dumb, whichever one it was, just basically says one sly comment as he's bleeding out. And then you have the choice to either kill him or let him go.
He says, F you, Bigby.
Yeah, and so I've been trying to be good cop the whole time. I decided I should let him go. I don't need to kill him. I need to control my rage or else everything everyone says about me.
Yeah, that's exactly how I see it. Like, in the end, he's trying to not be what he was in the past, back in the Fable land, whatever was going on, and he's also like, it just didn't feel like no matter how scummy these guys are, it just didn't feel like I wouldn't have felt okay with doing that personally. And it straight up gives you the option. It says kill him or let him go. Like you have a huge fork in the road here.
Yeah.
So
well, Josh, you're awfully quiet down there.
Hey, Josh,
did you kill him or did you let him go?
What happened in this scene for you?
I murdered him.
No, yes. I knew it.
Oh, you're the worst.
How's he do it? How do you end this man's life?
Am I the only one that did it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was so annoyed with him the entire game.
Me too, man. Me too.
I'm the worst person to give this option to. And so I
was no. Correction. You were not upset with him the entire game because I just realized this is Tweedledum, the brother.
I hate him both.
Tweedledee is the one that you were like chasing the whole time. And the only reason I remember that is because he says that line. He's like, "No, I'm D. He's dumb.
He's dumb."
Yeah, not you.
No,
so go ahead. I'm sorry.
Both equally, so it's all good.
They're the same person anyway.
You basically tear out his throat, and he falls to the ground limp and dead.
Yeah, that's nuts. At that point, Bloody Mary decides to show her stuff, and lo and behold, she shoots you.
So you let him go, and then she shoots you, even you let him go?
Yeah.
Yeah, he like kind of passes out, I'm assuming, from just terror and blood loss. But yeah, he just drops and slumps on the ground, and just kind of his eyes go white.
I like that scene, though, that moment where you choose to not kill him, because he you almost see Bigby's face.
His humanity back.
Yeah, you almost see Bigby's face in that wolf again. Like he like turns his head, he looks over. I think he looks at Snow, and she's absolutely shocked at everything that just what happened. I think that's like he looks over at her, and then you just see his face, and you just see him. I just thought that the way it was shot was really cool because you see him make that decision to consciously not murder. It's not really murder in this situation, I wouldn't consider, but not kill.
Fence. You got shot 30 times.
I mean,
so
they jumped back. You, but
in the court of law, that'd be considered murder. He was unarmed at the time. Just let you know. No, because there was a distinct. I don't know. That's fine. I believe you. The fight ended.
I don't know enough about the law. The fight ended, and you continued it and started beating the crap out of him after he didn't have a gun anymore. Sure, if they consider it murder, that's fine.
He still had a weapon. So.
I wouldn't personally consider it murder still. Versus me, but I still wouldn't do it. However, I just really enjoyed the way that they showed him make that decision. personally.
Which I'm glad you said that, because I wanted to get into a point of, because I play games. I especially love playing games like this, because I like to evaluate, not like the way the story's told, the character development. That's the kind of stuff I really like in games, which is why I play single player games like this. And that's, I was going to bring up the point, and you kind of touched on it. This whole game is all about towing the line of morality. And it's seen in the way that it's, quote, directed or filmed, or however you want to say it, because it's a game.
Yeah, it's not a movie, but
in every episode so far, there is a symbolism or a direct correlation of how morality affects everything. It's from I think they touched on it the most here in episode 3, whenever you're talking to Holly, because she's basically saying, hey, like, we're all the outcasts here. And it does a direct correlation to Bigby, because he's outcasted from both groups, societies. I touched on that. The whole idea of just the game setting is always segregated. You're either helping, it's always a point of, you're either helping the rich people who have the better lives, or you're on the side of the people who their lives suck. And just even the storytelling, and to have that personified in the character as you're moving forward, is just, the way they did it was really good.
I agree.
And I feel like that's going to be the whole, I feel like later on you're going to be you're going to have to make the choice, like, do you go like full wolf or something, so but yeah, to get back to where we were at, Bloody Mary saunters out, decides she's going to shoot you, and the wound is like not healing, and it's worse. You can't get up, and she's like, oh yeah, silver actually does work. I was kind of hoping it did. And then she pulls out freaking the woodsman's axe, and she's like ready to end your life. And then the quicktime events of the slowest of all quicktime events, of just jamming that Q button for a solid minute and a half.
It was like straight up. I know you say a minute and a half, and that's kind of an exaggeration, but the thought of having to, while she's slowly dragging this axe along like a horror movie towards you, just sauntering along, and it has this Q up, and if you stop hitting it, it kind of starts going down again. I was like, I can't let that happen, so I'm hitting Q this whole time. Straight up 30 seconds of that feels like a lifetime.
It really does.
Because I think it was maybe 30 seconds, but...
It probably was. It was close. I know it wasn't a minute and a half, but it was forever.
And then she ends up getting
right
up to
as
you.
she... Yeah. Good.
No. Well, I mean, basically, she gets right up to you. She lifts up the axe like she's going to take you out. Like, this is the end of Big Bad Wolf. And Snow shouts and, tells her to stop. And says, like, it takes her a moment, like, she, like, composes herself, and then because, like, this sucks, and she has to make this decision, but she ends up telling her, just take Crane, save, or leave Bigby alone, don't kill him, that sort of thing, blah, blah, and then, you get an option to, like, shout something back at Snow, and I just told her, like, don't do this, please don't do this, or whatever, and, she still makes the decision to, and they get to leave with Crane, and we did all this, and then we didn't get to take him in.
You also find out that Bloody Mary is a real one, because not only does she shoot you, but she saunters on over and freaking breaks your forearm, and just the bone
right
protruding, sticking out. It's like super gristly, and so she's definitely not afraid to get her hands dirty, and she's no one to be messed with.
Yep.
And right as she leaves, she makes that comment. She mentions the Crooked Man, which is probably the big bad evil guy.
Yep.
And she basically says something like, "Oh, you're lucky he says it's okay. I'm just going to take Crane." And then she makes a comment saying that Crane's no murderer, which kind of leaves the indication. She says
"Oh,
that
by
he's
the
not
way,
a killer." Yeah, literally, I think that's exactly what she says. By the way, he's not a killer.
He said this guy couldn't.
He's not the killer.
Couldn't stick a pig if it was cost him his life or something like that, and
that obviously gives the connotation that she knows who the real killer is. So she's going to be the next lead for sure. And then cut to black.
Yeah, that was the
end of episode. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was awesome. I really enjoyed that episode, and that was like halfway through. We finally see Bigby at like full blast, and that was pretty cool. And
I don't think he's at full blast yet.
Well, it was getting
I think
there, but he was also getting
yeah.
constantly shot at by a bunch of shotguns. So
I just feel like he's at some point going to make the choice whether or not he turns into the actual big bad wolf. Because even in the storybook, they had like what everyone originally looked like in the first episode, and he was just a ginormous wolf.
So you
and
think
I feel
he
like
was
he's
maybe
gonna
at
turn into
75% here?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Fair enough.
This isn't even my final form type thing.
Yep.
R.I.P.
Well,
Akira Toriyama.
We are running. Oh, yeah. That is a thing that happened. It's not really gaming news, but that is a thing that happened. Rest in peace, that fellow.
Indeed.
I mean, if anyone else has any other thoughts here, Josh looks like he's ready to go to bed. If they don't, we're running a little, not late, but a little long. So let's move on to good old fantasy draft. Otherwise, all right, I guess we are. All right, gentlemen and gentlemen.
Face.
Josh, come back to us. We're almost done. Did he? Oh no, what happened to him? Something.
I don't know what he's doing.
I'm sitting right
Your
here.
Your face looks wrong. Make it better.
Yeah, Josh, make your face.
There it is.
I like that. That's my favorite face.
Much better.
Oh, he's like, but all right, we're doing our fantasy draft. We're gonna end off this episode with a bang, and yeah. Josh knows the order we're going. I never do.
Me neither.
What's the order?
It'll be me, Andrew, you.
Okay.
Andrew, me.
If you had, and this can be any body part, like you just use your imagination, but if you could have an extra of any body part, and it can be anywhere on your body, what would it be?
Wait, what?
An extra body part.
You have an extra body, like oh, I have an extra foot, and I put it I can have it wherever I want on my body.
An arm.
Okay. Do you want to say where is it going to be protruding from?
I was getting there. That's why I said.
Okay, there's a big pause. I wasn't sure. I want some big pause, by the
way.
Josh is like, this is the fourth time I've been interrupted today.
If I have a body part, will my clothing?
You'll have to figure something out with that.
For it?
No, you'll adjust it probably by cutting holes in it, or getting some custom tailor stuff. That's going to be problematic, but it's
the extra arm's going to have to come out my side then, because there's no other place for a whole arm to come out, elbow and everything. So I'm going to say,
bro, if you're going arm, I'd grow it out your chin through the beard.
That'd be awesome. Actually, in that little, the space below the bottom lip and the top of the beard, just that space right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you're just saying just another arm?
Yep.
Okay.
So you say extra body part. What if it's a body part that I don't currently have?
No, it's a duplicate of something that you own.
Dang. Okay. Well, based on what you believe, technically speaking, I could get that body part. That's for another day.
All right.
I would say. I would probably. No, that wouldn't be too helpful. I'd take. I don't really know what else to do, so I guess I'd go with an ear and I'd put it in the back of my head so that I could hear things better behind me when I don't have to look, hoping, to be a little more aware.
Well, funnily enough, I was going to say an eye on the back of my head for obvious reasons. If I have to cut a little hair hole out so I can see, whatever you got to do in life, but yeah, no, that's going to be useful. Just I don't know how that's going to work in our frame of vision where, I can understand what it's like to have two eyes in front of your face, and I can close one and realize, okay, so now I can see out this side, and I don't really have depth perception. My mother has depth perception and has Tourette's. However, if you have both eyes open or both eyes closed, it makes sense. However, you're seeing something completely behind you. I don't even know how you could mentally process have.
Do you have a different HUD screen in your mind
that's
at
what
that
I'm saying.
point? Yeah, it's got to be something.
A HUD, a heads-up display, is literally what people see. It's their eyes in a video game. It's or through their visor, it's what you're seeing when it's displayed on a screen. So like it's like having a second monitor. Why would you not want this? This is going to be like an actual upgrade of upgrades. So yeah, I just I can't process that, but I really enjoy the thought. My second one would be another nipple right in the center of my nose.
Wait, what was your first one?
Josh is concerned about the semi relatable one, and it's like glossing over the nipple nose. I love it.
How did you miss that? An eye in the back of my head, so I can see behind me.
Okay, and you took a nipple for your second.
Yeah. I only chose the ear because I feel like I could still make it a little conspicuous.
Yeah,
like I could just grow the hair over my ear, still look
because you know
somewhat
all the hair you grow.
Do you have the time?
Your face looked so downtrodden. I thought I thought that was it. That was the end of my friendship.
That was rude. I have more hair than Josh.
It's true.
Anyways, the next one. I mean, I don't know why no one picked it, but I guess I'd just take a second brain and put it like in my stomach. I'd imagine it would just at least double my processing. I'd have to be a little smarter, I'd guess. That'd be nice.
I got another brain.
Like in my processing. I guess I'd put it in my stomach because I don't know where else.
Unit. Hey, and then you'll be able to actually think with your stomach.
I don't think.
Although having I won't say that because I don't know what Josh is going to pick. But go ahead,
Josh. What? Maybe you need to go to sleep too.
I want a second head that faces backwards.
Ooh.
He's like, I'm gonna take all that.
That's kind of.
Does the head have a brain?
Attached? How is this attached?
Yeah.
Honestly, listen, I accept it. I allow it. This is part
just like
because really he got an extra. He got extra eyes, extra ears, and extra brain. But you know what? I'll allow it. No one said head. So how is this attached? Is this like a two-headed like dragon
like side by
thing?
side,
like a hydra? Is it?
Yeah, it's like right
stuck
here.
in the back of the head, like Voldemort.
No, it's growing out of my shoulder. It's a whole head.
Okay, so you have two heads. It's like
facing that way.
Would you be the same person, or would this be like? Would this be like the people who are born and have two like?
If I'm looking at you talking, my eyes are looking at you. My mouth is moving. The head behind one over here
can do the same thing, but like it's a separate processing.
Same direction and saying the same thing.
It's like second like brain and everything, but it's
so you're just basically echoing everything, is what you're saying.
Basically, it sounds like you have it's one soul. It is all Josh.
Tourette.
It's not. Ooh, hold up.
Josh took the idea of the vision in the back of the head, and he just said, "I'm gonna double everything. I want a second monitor and speakers."
At least mine is subtle. This guy's not getting anywhere easy, but
a little. That's a good idea.
Too. I'm a little jealous too. I'm gonna be honest.
I just tried to choose things that like wouldn't look weird and I could hide, and you were like, "Nah, fam, give me double."
Yeah, my nipple nose is not going far for me.
I wanted to pick another nose just because that would enhance your sense of taste a lot more too, but I decided another brain.
Dude, wouldn't it suck if you had an extra nose, but you put it like in your butt?
Hey, which Dorothy person wanted the brain?
The Scarecrow.
Oh.
If I only had a brain.
You can find us, ladies and gentlemen, if you've made it this far and are actually hearing this, on all podcasting platforms, except for Apple so far. We'll get there. I'm lazy. And on YouTube, which I'm assuming is where... I mean, I don't really know how many people would be listening compared to... we don't really have a lot of stats. We don't have a ton of viewers yet. But you know what? We're having a good time with it. We love each other, and that's what matters. And if people find this interesting one day, that's cool. But yeah, do you want to like and subscribe, and you want to leave a comment, some interaction on the video or in the podcast or something like that, we're never going to be against it. We're never going to be like, you got to do this.
New subscriber and a comment gets a nugget.
Yeah.
And I will stay with that until it happens.
All right, listen. All right, fair enough. If you see this and you subscribe and you leave a comment on the video, this part's important. This part is crucial. And you let us know. You can say whatever you want to say in the comment, but as long as you mention Nuggy, please, you're getting the Nuggy.
Nuggy, please. Hashtag
I don't even
Nuggy,
care.
please.
I'm not going to confirm if you have subscribed. Yes, I am. I'm sorry. That's important because like anybody could do that. You do have to like be a new subscriber. We're trying to get people in. We're not trying to like give nuggies to our old people. We don't care about them anymore. We're looking for the new people. That was a lie. And
they're old.
checking like if you have subscribed recently is fine and easy because we have small amount of subscribers. So just say Nuggy, please. And if you're new and subscribed, we're going to mail you a Nuggy. It's that easy. And it's going to make your life just maybe 0.5% better.
Nice 10-piece from McDonald's.
Whoa. I said one Nuggy.
Nuggies. We're talking about
I
one
will
Nuggy.
buy a 10-piece and eat 9 of them, but I will still give them a Nuggy. Yes.
So you're sending Science Experiment Kiss to the first subscriber.
No.
Huh?
However, this just made me think of something that would be good later on, where we do a Nuggy box, a monthly Nuggy box where you subscribe and you get Nuggies from all around the world sent to you, and we make.
And
lots
I will
of money
be making
off of
those Nuggies.
Maybe
we could try different fast food Nuggies. We could try to make our own Nuggies and see if they taste better.
We could do all those videos.
Yeah,
like if we ever listen. How about this? The three of us. Next time we actually get a chance to see each other and have like a moment, not just like at a wedding, to actually hang out, we go to like 20 different places that sell chicken nuggets and we buy chicken nuggets and then we all taste test them together and do like a
fast
nugget
food
tier list.
lasagna.
Yeah, Nugget tier list. And it's going to be on this channel.
I'm down.
This
Nugget
might happen in
list, I'm
5
good
years, but you know what? Thanks for watching, everybody.